where we uncover the untold stories, legendary heroes, and game-changing moments from Africa's history. Today, we bring you a story of courage, betrayal, and revolution, the story of a young African leader who dared to challenge the old order and shook the continent to its core. This is the story of Ibrahim Traore, a man who received a secret message from Africa's top generals and chose to stand tall. His decision shocked everyone. It's a story about power, loyalty, and the fight for Africa's future. So, sit tight, because what you're about to hear might just change how you see leadership in Africa forever. The secret meeting in Accra, a call for obedience. It all started in a hidden room in Accra, Ghana. The room was quiet, tense. Leaders from across Africa sat at a long, dark mahogany table. The air was thick with suspicion and secrecy. The people in the room included generals from Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and other nations. They were all there for one purpose, to give an order to Ibrahim Traore, the young leader of Burkina Faso. Suddenly, a messenger entered. He handed Ibrahim a sealed letter, signed by 5 powerful African generals. The message was clear: stand down. Stop your independent actions. Rejoin regional security efforts. Cease destabilizing the region. Everyone expected Ibrahim to accept, to obey their command and fall in line. But Ibrahim Traore was not like the others. Instead of trembling or backing down, he looked at the letter and asked a simple but powerful question: who do you really serve? The room froze. Nobody expected him to speak up like that. His words cut through the silence like a sharp blade. His question revealed the deep cracks in the command chain, cracks that would soon turn into a full-blown crisis. The moment that changed everything. What happened next shocked the entire continent. One of the generals, General Chesa from Senegal, muttered something in French, a secret message of betrayal. Ibrahim heard it. Instead of reacting with anger or fear, he stood tall and declared, "I will not be dictated to by men who have never stood with our soldiers, who never faced bullets, or fought for our land." Without waiting for a reply, Ibrahim turned and walked out of the room, leaving the letter behind. Outside, a young journalist whispered to her cameraman, "Did he just walk away from all of Ikoyi?" No one had the answer. But inside that room, the chain of command was broken, shattered beyond repair. This moment marked the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where a young leader refused to follow orders that didn't serve his people. A chapter where Africa's future was about to be rewritten. The night of betrayal, a young soldier's secret message. 2 nights before the Accra summit, Ibrahim Traore was alone on the rooftop of Kozam Palace in Burkina Faso. The city lights flickered through the dusty air. Suddenly, a rusted military jeep rolled up quietly, headlights off. Out stepped Lieutenant Yao from Ivory Coast. Yao had once been part of the ECOWAS Joint Command but now had defected, trembling with fear and anger. Yao didn't speak much. Instead, he handed Ibrahim a sealed envelope. His hands were sweaty. He whispered, "They think you're just a young kid with a flag. But you need to see what they are really planning." Inside the envelope was a copy of the same letter General Musa would try to give Ibrahim later. But attached was something even more dangerous, a secret dossier titled "Sans Return." Its goal: secretly reinstall French-backed special forces in northern Burkina Faso under the guise of regional support. Ibrahim didn't show his feelings. He folded the letter carefully, slipped it into his pocket, and simply told Yao, "Don't go home. Stay alert." When Ibrahim arrived in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, he could feel the coldness in every handshake, every smile. The generals talked about unity, cooperation, and regional security as if nothing was wrong. But Ibrahim knew better. He saw the betrayal in their eyes, in their words. He already knew that the letter he held was part of a bigger plan, a plan to control, manipulate, and weaken his country from within. He understood that some generals wanted him gone, not through assassination, but through obedience, slow, silent, and complete. The hidden plot, Operation Sans Return. Meanwhile, across Africa, behind closed doors, a secret meeting was taking place. A private jet landed in Abuja, Nigeria, under the cover of darkness. Inside a heavily guarded villa, 4 top generals sat around a table. They were discussing the rising threats in the Sahel, the chaos in the region, and the reckless moves of Ibrahim Traore. General Christopher Musa of Nigeria, General Charles of Senegal, General Mensa Abouag of Ghana, and General Kone Yoff of Ivory Coast, they were planning their next move. A French liaison sat with them, already spreading satellite images of Burkina Faso. They talked about reactivating secret intelligence stations, re-establishing influence, and controlling the young leader. Their plan was called Sand Return. It was about secretly sending French-backed special forces into northern Burkina Faso, under the cover of regional aid, to destabilize Ibrahim's government and restore old colonial influence. But they underestimated one thing: a loyal Burkinabe soldier named Lieutenant Yah had snapped photos of their secret plans. Within days, Ibrahim knew what was coming. The betrayal was clear. The war was no longer just in the forest or the mountains. It was now at the table, in the shadows of diplomacy. The war in the war room, power cracks open. Back in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore faced growing pressure. His cabinet was in chaos. Maps of suspected insurgent corridors were spread across the table, but no one was paying attention to them. Everyone was focused on the bigger threat: external forces trying to control his country. The finance minister warned, Nigeria threatened to freeze regional aid, Ghana was withholding supplies. The foreign minister suggested negotiations, but Ibrahim knew that time was running out. One of his ministers, Hamadou Wedra, stood in front of the cameras and accused Ibrahim of leading the country into chaos. He called him too young, too radical. The room grew tense. Ibrahim silently gathered the maps, rolled them up, and walked toward the window. He spoke softly: they want us to believe we can't lead ourselves. That we are only safe when we are watched. He didn't shout. He didn't argue. He simply said, we will walk our own path. That moment marked a turning point. Ibrahim was no longer just a soldier. He was a leader fighting to free his country from outside control. The night of the silent coup, making a stand. Just after midnight, the quiet streets of Ouagadougou were filled with the sound of black jeeps, silent, deadly, moving fast. Inside, Ibrahim's elite security unit was on a mission. Their target was a secret meeting of generals who were plotting his downfall. The door burst open. Cameras hidden everywhere recorded every move. The generals reached for their weapons, but Ibrahim entered calmly, like a storm about to break. He looked at the generals and said, "You're destroying regional unity. You're tearing Africa apart." His voice was calm but firm. Let the people decide. Let them see the truth. And then, in a matter of moments, the generals were detained, without violence, without bloodshed, just like that. The world watched in shock. The young leader had taken control, not with guns, but with courage. The global response, Africa's new dawn. The videos of Ibrahim's peaceful but firm action spread across Africa and the world. Some countries supported him, others condemned him. Youth in Senegal, Mali, Nigeria, and beyond took to the streets, waving flags, chanting slogans of independence and sovereignty. In Ghana and Nigeria, governments called it an attack on regional unity. Some withdrew their ambassadors. Others called for dialogue. But Ibrahim knew this was just the beginning. The United States, France, and other global powers watched nervously. Behind closed doors, diplomats whispered about the future of Africa's independence. And Ibrahim Traore, he stood firm. He announced that Burkina Faso would no longer accept foreign military advisors or interference. He declared a new path, a path of self-reliance and sovereignty. The new path, Africa's future. In a historic speech, Ibrahim Traore stepped outside Kozum Palace, speaking directly to the people. His voice was steady, clear. We are not rebels. We are reclaiming our land. We will build our future ourselves. He called for unity, pride, and courage. He promised to rebuild his country, not with foreign help, but with the strength of his people. In the days that followed, Burkina Faso began to reshape itself. New military units formed from local volunteers. Rural communities organized their own defenses. The government issued a clear message: Africa must lead itself. The question of leadership: who will rise next? This story isn't just about Burkina Faso. It's about Africa, a continent of young people, brave leaders, and endless possibilities. It raises a question that every African must answer. What happens when a young man with a question becomes more powerful than an old man with a gun? Will Africa choose its future, or will it fall back into old chains? The choice is ours. The time to act is now. If this story moved you, don't just scroll past. Show your support. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Legends Unleashed African for more stories of real heroes and legends shaping the continent. Drop your comments below. Do you stand with Ibrahim Traore? Or do you believe in the old command? Turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter of Africa's unfolding story. Because Africa's legends are still being written. And your voice matters.